Hey there, it's Steve from Serious Keto, and this is the Not So Serious Keto video podcast. I don't know how many of you tuned in last week for Heavenly Fan's interview / conversation with me. It was pretty long. I think about 2 hours and 45 minutes in total. Fan has provided me with all of the footage from that interview / conversation, and I'm going to cut it down into smaller chunks just because I don't think most people are ready to sit down for a Lord of the Rings length podcasty thing. So look forward to that probably in the next week or two. As part of our conversation, we talked about some of the benefits of keto, some of the surprising benefits or side effects, and we got onto the topic of not getting sick. And Fan said she used to get sick, like really sick, a couple of times a year, which used to be the case with me as well. I would get a sinus infection or strep throat or something like that, usually every February and October. And we were both sort of talking about how proud we were that we weren't getting sick, and now here I am with some sort of a sinus thing going on again. It seems more like seasonal allergies. I'm blowing my nose an awful lot, but there's also been some post-nasal drip, like at night, kind of irritating my throat and making me cough. So if I sound a little bit less than perfect today, that's the reason why. Now, on the topic of pleasant keto side effects, I have mentioned numerous times that I have not been bit by a mosquito now in 5.5 years. So this is my 5th summer of not having been bit by a mosquito. Either that or I'm getting bit, but I'm not having any sort of a histamine reaction. One of the common side effects that I've heard from a number of you who are on keto is that you don't get sunburned. Well, apparently my body has not gotten that memo, because last Monday, Terry and I took Connor and Colton to this. It wasn't so much a water park, it was really sort of an RV campground that happened to have a big pond, and it had that Whibbit stuff. I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but it's like the giant inflatable water stuff. And then they had a pool and some water slides. But it was a pretty mild day, and I decided I would not use sunscreen, and that was an epic mistake. So I got really pretty sunburned. And in the interview with Fan, it hasn't quite kicked in fully yet, but I think you can see in portions where like I crease my forehead and you can see that things are just starting to dry out and get ready to peel. Well, by later in the day, things were peeling. My whole face pretty much flaked off. And so if I look a little bit pink right now or a little bit blotchy, that's what that is from. I still got some dry patches and still trying to get my skin back to normal here after the sunburn. But I'd be curious to hear from some of you. Do you get sunburned on keto? If not, boy, I sure wish I knew what was going on with me, because I definitely do. One of the things that I forgot to do, probably about a week or so ago, was after I did that review of Hat Jerky, the beef jerky. The coupon code wasn't working briefly. I want everybody to know that the coupon code for that is back in place. I think it's 25% off. It's a pretty good discount on it, on some absolutely wonderful jerky. And this is not a paid promo. I'm just telling you this because I think it's a great product. And if you missed that review, it was started by this young man, Matt, who at age 11 was selling beef jerky door to door. And now he has built it into this full-scale business. I think he's 18 years old. He's putting himself through college using the profits from this company he created. I think it's a great story. And I love entrepreneurs. I love his story. And that's why I'm happy to free promo it. And in fact, I will include a link down below in the description for Hat Jerky and the coupon code, and I'll probably even link to the review video in the end card. And I'll probably mention them again, from time to time during the podcast. I mean, not this podcast, this one right now that you're watching or listening to, but in future ones. I've talked before about why I don't do very much on Facebook, mainly due to the toxicity, I think, of that platform. I mean, there's a fair amount across all social media platforms, but it seems like the keto groups especially are pretty unpleasant out on Facebook. However, I did discover, or it found me through the algorithm, it's called Dirty Carnivore. So not dirty keto, not ketovore, but dirty carnivore. So there's part of me that thinks, do we really need yet another category for keto-ish stuff? But as I was looking at some of the recipes or pictures, it's not so much recipes, I think, it's people just taking pictures of what they eat. it seemed an awful lot like the way I eat. It's you got some meat, you got some dairy in there, and then maybe something that's not quite carnivore, like salsa, for example. And I think that's the dirty aspect of it. But what I love is that everybody in that group, every comment that I've seen so far, has been very non-judgmental, very accepting, very supportive. And that's really, as I've said in the past, sort of the environment that I try and create here on Serious Keto, where we respect that different people can do keto different ways, and that's up to them. We do it our way, you do it your way, however you want to do it. We're all sort of together here in this low-carb keto realm. So maybe check that out if something like that sounds interesting to you. Dirty Carnivore. Now, because of my sinus and throat thing going on, this is going to be a short podcast. I've only got really one more topic left. Well, potentially two. Life has been a little bit strange for me lately. It's been kind of hectic, kind of unpredictable. I had mentioned that Connor had gone down to Louisiana for a month to do combat drills. And then this week, Courtney and her National Guard unit is activated for the Republican National Convention and security there. And on those lines, one of the things that I want to say, there are channel posting guidelines or comment guidelines for this channel. Some of you may have seen it. I don't know how, if you haven't seen it, how you actually click on it and find it, if it's under About This Channel or whatever, or if it just comes up randomly when you leave a comment. But the rules are fairly simple, which are be respectful, respect that other people may do keto differently than you, don't be the keto police, don't be the ingredient police. I think that's pretty fair. The one thing I'm going to add is just because of the environment that we are in currently with politics and with the election right around the corner, let's not have any political posting here on this channel. I mean, let's keep it keto or keto-ish, but definitely not political. I don't care if it's something I agree with, whether it's left, right, center. I just don't want to see it. To me, I get enough of that pretty much everywhere. So I'll ask this time and this time only, please don't do that, because that's probably something that'll get you muted from commenting on this channel. So with that out of the way, the other exciting thing that's coming here very soon is grandson number 2 for me. So let's see here. We are on, today would be the 15th if you're watching this on Monday. So yeah, we're right in that area, probably 3 or 4 weeks until grandson number 2 shows up. So I got to get busy on the nursery here. I got to assemble a crib and do some of the decorations and things like that. I thought being an empty nester was going to be easy, but it's been anything but. But it keeps me busy, it keeps me on my toes, and I'm super duper excited to have another grandbaby on the way. Anyhow, the reason I refer to him as grandson number 2 is I don't know what his name is yet. It's apparently only Connor and Jaden know, and they haven't told anybody. If they've told Colton, I'm surprised that he's been able to keep a secret, but I don't think that they've told him yet. So probably in 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, I'll have a picture of me with grandson number 2. But as I said, just a smidge under the weather today, so I'm going to give my voice a rest and end this podcast early. In terms of other things coming up this week, probably Wednesday I will be doing a review of the Ultrahuman Air Ring, which I've been pretty pleased with, and I think you're going to be excited to see just how robust the app is that goes with this ring. It's pretty slick. As for a cooking video this Friday, doing those feta egg rolls has got me interested in trying another variation on that. So that's a possibility. The other thing we've got coming on right now in the garden is a lot of zucchini. So I may be seeing if I can come up with some sort of clever zucchini keto-ish type of a video. So stay tuned for that. But as always, thanks for spending a little bit of time with me this morning. Thanks for listening, and thanks for watching.